I'm just wondering your thoughts on the approach here. Is this the responsible thing to do? Fund the government first, then deal with the extras later?
Well, thanks for the shout out. As a bull, I did grow up on a farm in North Carolina, still live there today. So
there you go.
give them a shout out when I get back home. So, look, I commend the House for what they did. Speaker Johnson is dealing with a very narrow margin. For him to get on the NDAA and get it passed in a bipartisan fashion, I think that's fine. Look, it's a very different way we look at it over here in the Senate. We want to make sure that the government is funded. We want to look at either regular appropriations rather than a reconciliation. And then let's get on to the NDAA. So we want to do all of these things as well. So I think we have a similar aims, but in a different sequence, as you pointed out earlier. But one of the things we've never seen before is the Democrats play politics with the NDAA. Usually they vote to advance it, and then we negotiate in conference between the Senate version and the House version. They didn't even vote to advance it. We've never seen this before. This seems like they're punishing our men and women in uniform because of some policy disagreements. That's never been done before. You can have those policy disagreements, but let's make sure we're supporting our warfighters, especially in this unstable time right now. It's absolutely never been done like this, and I can't believe the Democrats are playing politics like they are this week.
Well, there were 6 members of the Democratic caucus in the House who did cross party lines to vote to advance the NDAA yesterday, Senator. But when we consider the defense authorization and the money for the Pentagon that is embedded in the budget resolution that the House also sent over, you testified or gave a statement at the same hearing that the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth did before appropriations this week, in which he said the war already has cost $37.5 billion, and the war, as we speak, Senator, is still ongoing. By the time the Senate does get around to passing potentially this resolution or reconciliation getting across the finish line, is the price tag for the Pentagon going to need to be much higher?
Look, I'm very supportive of the point of the supplemental and making sure that we supply our stockpile and our munitions. But let's remember that there's support in there for farmers. There's support in there for disaster in different parts of the country. Let's remember in Western North Carolina, just under 2 years ago, we had a major disaster with Hurricane Helene. So when they give us the number 0 for that, that's the wrong number. We want real support for Western North Carolina, especially if it's going to include something broader than just defense replenishment. We want to make sure that they have what they need, that the Pentagon has what it needs. But if you're going to include disaster, you make sure that you include Western North Carolina.
I want to ask you about the war in Iran, which appears to be escalating by the moment. And to that end, we're now seeing $100 a barrel oil once again, Senator. From your view on the Armed Services Committee and Intel, I'm wondering what you're hearing from the administration. Axios is reporting the president is soon to decide on a major escalation, a major assault on parts of Iran. He's threatening bridges and power plants. Is this about to intensify?
Well, the goal is to open the strait and make sure that we keep our warfighters safe and eventually bring them home. We don't want a forever war. So the president wants all options on the table. He wants the best military advice. He wants to be decisive. He's tired of playing games. Look, he was serious about negotiations and the ceasefire to use for negotiations to end this diplomatically. But the Iranians were only using it to delay and diffuse, delay things into perpetuity, which is part of their strategy. They know that they can't win, but they can succeed through delay and then operating in a diffused manner through proxies, through the Yemenis and the Houthis, or through Hamas or through Hezbollah. So all of those are Iranian proxies. So if you cut off the head of the snake, you fix so many problems. But the president wants to end this decisively and get our troops home.
Well, and as you say, Senator, you don't want to see another forever war. So how long should the president have to try to bring this to an end? You and your colleagues voted down another war powers resolution in the Senate today, even though one did pass the House this morning. Will there come a time ever that you would cast a vote on a war powers measure? What would be the line for you?
Well, the challenge with the war powers resolution, while it may sound great on its face, and we certainly need to have those constitutional debates, the president needs every option at his disposal, especially when he's navigating very complex waters in the Middle East. Anytime you pass a war powers resolution, as we've seen pop through the House or the Senate at any particular time in the last several weeks, it weakens the president's hand, which is really putting our warfighters in danger. We want to end this quickly, and so we need to present a unified strength, or unified front and full strength, and that way we can win more quickly. Anytime they see us fractured internally, our opponents will use that to their advantage, which hurts our men and women in uniform.
You know, we're looking now at a potential double choke point, and you don't need me to tell you, as Houthi rebels attack a couple of ships headed for the Red Sea. Do people in North Carolina need to brace for higher prices? We're looking at triple-digit oil today, and gas is well above $4 on a national average. If this is another choke point, Senator, what does it mean for consumers?
Well, the goal is to get energy prices down. They were trending down under President Trump because we've basically been pro-energy. That's what puts us at this position. When you look under Joe Biden in 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, you saw these prices skyrocket, well over $100 a barrel, gas, $5 a gallon in some parts of the country. And that's because they were anti-energy. We're having a significant conflict in the Middle East, and yet we're $3.50, $4, and we want to get it back closer in that $2, $3 range. But we can certainly do that because we've been pro-energy. If we allow the broader administration policies to take place, those choke points in the Middle East actually matter less. So we need to make sure that we're pro-energy for domestic production here in the U.S., and that actually makes us safer and less dependent on these Middle Eastern choke points. But I will say, there are so many allies that we have over there. We have troops in the region, even before this conflict. So we need to make sure that we defend them, and we don't let the chief state sponsor of terror metastasize and actually get a toehold again. We need to end this, and we need to do it decisively, and we need to do it quickly and bring our troops home safely.